Hello, my Virgo. So today's video is obviously for you in your March general reading as a Virgo. Here is your card. And what your March is going to be surrounding, we have the Gemini card here. Okay, so for some of you, if you have a Gemini in your life, this is obviously the relationship surrounding them. But if not, this is more about the conversations that you are having with yourself and with others around you. Also more about being in that in-between stage of the messenger between the gods and the messengers between earth. So it's like you're in the middle. You're receiving probably lots of information at this point. You're probably going to be having lots of realizations. If not that, then you'll just be noticing a lot of things. You may be dabbling into a lot of more endeavors than you usually have been. But the main thing I want you to focus on is communication, because as you know, you being ruled by Mercury as well as Gemini, it's all about communication. With Virgo, it's a little bit more about intelligence and putting things in structure. But when it comes to Gemini, it's more about communication within thyself, with others, connections that you make, and just kind of having that, the difference, the twins. The Gemini represents, twins. So it's having one side and another side and kind of having that ongoing conversation all the time within just yourself. So imagine having that and then being kind of a social type of energy and, learning about different things and just all these new information coming in. So you're receiving, you're explaining, you're conversating, all of the above, okay, in March. So let's go ahead and see what is going to be happening in your March, okay? All right, Virgo. So starting out, we do have the Knave of Swords upright. So when we have this card, it obviously is about being introspective. This is about reflecting within thyself. This is also usually the card that I associate with Gemini as far as the swords go. And so Knave of Swords is really about going within thyself. So you're starting off March probably having lots of these inside questions that you're asking yourself, having a lot of conversations with yourself, I guess is the best way to say it. So it's not necessarily hermit energy when you're just secluding yourself. You may be around people, you may be in different situations, you may even be being social, but it's like whenever you can or whenever you find yourself just thinking, you are definitely having these thoughts of like, am I making the right decisions? What am I doing? What's the plan? You're having all of these different ways of communicating with yourself at any time of the day, okay? Eight of Cups in reverse. So you're not letting go of something. You're not walking away from something just yet. I feel like you are trying to figure out maybe how to make something work. With the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, I feel like you've put a lot of energy and work into something. And for some of you, you may just be kind of worrying about if your job is sufficient, if it's worth it, if you are doing something that will pay off in the end, right? And Eight of Pentacles in reverse, I also feel like you are not willing to walk away from something emotionally because you have put so much effort into it. That it just depends on which type of Virgo situation that you are in. At the bottom of the deck, we also have the Knave of Cups in reverse. So I feel like you're not yet 100% trusting of the emotional connection that you do have, and it's causing you to feel like, I don't know which way to go. You may be looking into readings a lot more lately. You may be trying to ask a lot more people what you should do, or maybe you don't want to ask because you feel kind of vulnerable. But at this point in the beginning of March, I do feel like you are in a position where you're just like, okay, I need help. I don't know which way to go. But at the same time, I don't feel like it's a needy, desperate feeling. I think it's just more of like, I wish somebody would just help me out in this situation because I'm really lost. I don't know to go on path A or path B. I don't know if I'm making the right decision. I don't know if this is going to last, whatever I'm feeling. I don't know if I'll ever get over what I'm feeling. It's like all of the above. And so that's that Gemini energy that I'm talking about. Just constant conversation. You being a Virgo, you already have this like Mercury, Mercury is there and it does that for you. You just do it on a different level. But with Gemini combined, it's like you're just really in the midst of communication at its core. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's good for you because it's stimulating and it is something you're very familiar with being a Virgo. But at the same time, if you're in a situation where you feel really, really like, if you're in a polarizing situation, it can be really hard to have all of these thoughts. But at the same time, this is probably what you need because you weren't putting much effort and thought into it in the first place, okay? Or in the past. Ten of Cups is what we have here now. So it seems as though things are very balanced. You feel as though everything in your life is going okay. You are in a situation where you feel balanced. You feel like things are good. You feel like there's not much to complain about, okay? Let's go ahead and see what part of your life this is in accordance to. What does Virgo feel? There we go. It was in reverse. So we got the Four of Cups in reverse, okay? So you're not necessarily being a worrywart at this point. You're not feeling depressed. You're not looking at all the bad things. You're starting to look at the positives of your life. And I think you're starting to be like, okay, there's things that I can appreciate in life. There's things that I can feel happy about, and I don't have to focus on all the negative things. And I think it's really helping you to have a way better outlook. I think people are enjoying being around you emotionally, and I think you're not being that constructive Virgo that sometimes when you're not balanced as a Virgo, or if you're unhappy, it can show and be kind of like you're criticizing everything, or you're being, you know, naggy, or whatever the case may be, or just mean. So it looks like you guys are being a lot more open to just being free-flowing is the word that I'm getting. We do have the Eight of Wands in reverse. So with this being said, it seems as though you may be feeling a little overwhelmed at times. I think that there's moments where you feel like things are moving kind of fast. And with this Virgo and Gemini energy, like I said, being both ruled by Mercury, Mercury is quick. So maybe just sometimes you feel like, whoa, like I need to get off this ride. This is a lot. But at the same time, it's not too much for you to handle. I think it's just these moments where you're just like, whoa, I'm used to more of a slow, steady, practical pace of things going. But with this Gemini energy that I'm seeing in your March, you definitely are feeling the movement pick up. You're feeling the pace pick up, and that can be in multiple ways or multiple parts of your life, right? So when we move on, we do have the Hierophant in reverse. So if this is a Taurus in your life, they are, you know, you're having some issues with them. But if this is not a Taurus, this may be for some of you just having issues in your educational life. Maybe things are not moving the way you want them to, or just your plan that you had is not really a plan anymore. You feel like maybe there's adjustments that need to be made, or maybe you feel like the plan that you once had is not serving what you feel now. And so you're like, well, damn, now I don't even have a plan. I don't even have any structure. And I think that's just what's happening at the moment. Let's go ahead and see what can be done about the situation to make it a more upright situation. I also feel like the structure that usually is set within your life is kind of being shaken. And for some of you, this is a really good thing, even if it feels uncomfortable. But it seems like there's some shaking that's been I don't know how to explain that, but it seems like some things are being moved around, you know? So what can be, here we go. We got the Knight of Wands in reverse, okay? So make sure that you are not jumping too quick into any decisions that you're making, even though with the Eight of Wands here in reverse, it does say that sometimes, you know, you have to move quick because life is moving quick with you, and especially in finances, sometimes you have to make decisions that are a lot quicker than you're used to making. But since you're a Virgo, I'm just going to go out on a whim and say I do think that you are practical enough to make sure that if you do have to make a fast decision, sometimes it's okay because you have planned for certain mishaps to happen, right, as an earth sign. With this Knave of Wands energy in reverse, like I said, things may be happening a lot faster than you can imagine. But with all of your plans changing, don't be so quick to just throw in the towel. I feel like that's going to be the thing that really messes up a lot of Virgos. There's going to be Virgos who can deal with this tide. There's going to be Virgos that can deal with all of these new things happening. But at the same time, you don't want to get in a position where you're like, whoa, I can't handle it, and you just throw everything back in because you've worked too hard to get to this point. You understand what I'm saying? So with that being said, we do have the Moon card in reverse, okay? So you may be looking at things a little, you know, off. You need to make sure that you are paying attention to the reality of things, and make sure that if you do find out something that is revealed, or if something is revealed in your life, make sure you aren't reacting right away. Make sure you're planning what you're doing. You're not just doing, is what I'm trying to say. Alrighty, so let's move to the middle of your March, okay, Virgo? Ten of Pentacles in reverse. So some of you are thinking about ending a long-term relationship. Some of you are also in a position where you are not thinking about the long-term if you are single. So you were thinking about just kind of being on your own. You may not be thinking about solidifying a foundation with family and being with someone. But for some reason, I do feel like it's about having a long-term commitment with someone. This could be an Aquarius. We do have the star card here, but if not, it's just saying that you have found the new hope within yourself, and you may not be expressing it to other people. But I feel like at this point in the middle of March, you're at a point where you are definitely starting to feel different motives. You're starting to feel a different hope come within yourself, and it's like you had to bring that out of yourself, but you're not expressing it just yet. So it's kind of like if you have like this invention that you have came up with and you know it'll work, you haven't quite made it yet, but logistically speaking, when you write it out, it makes perfect sense, but you're holding on to that idea. You still haven't used it. You still haven't used that power card just yet. Okay, we also have the Lovers card, so this could be a Gemini as well if it's not a Aquarius, but if not either one of those, this is in regards to your love situation. Okay, so you may be thinking, I don't know if this is the right way that I need to go. I don't know if this is the right decision for me as a Virgo. For some Virgos, it seems like you want to branch out, you want to socialize, you don't want to be quite held down. But then for other Virgos, it's like you don't want this long-term. You may be in a situation where it hasn't been long-term, and you're starting to see the hope in this situation come forth, but you don't know all the good and the bad that's going to come with that. And it's kind of making you feel a little off because it's like throwing you off your balance because you don't know what to expect. And then you have those Virgos who don't want a commitment anymore. They feel like they found themselves again and they want something different. They want to start over. They want to have a new love life. And that's also making them that means they as a Virgo need to be more social. Remember with this Gemini here, Gemini is more of a social type of sign. It could just be all the feelings that you are feeling. We have the Ace of Swords in reverse, so this is usually dishonesty. Let's go ahead and see where this dishonesty is coming from. I'm going to use this deck here. Where is the dishonesty coming from, or what's not being clear? What is the Virgo not being clear about? There we go. The Sun. Okay, so this decision that you're trying to make, Virgo, you think you want it. Whatever you want, whether it's a long-term relationship, whether you want to get out of this long-term relationship, you are at a position where you think you know what you want, but it's going to come in a totally different package than you're expecting. Okay, so whatever that means to you, depending on what you want, this could be kind of scary, but at the same time, the sun card, there is no bad. Okay, so you will get what you want. So be very careful about what you're asking for, what you're trying to manifest, but just know that it's not going to be in the way that you expected. Okay, with the Five of Swords here, some people may have to cut losses with someone in order to achieve this. Like, and you're saying that you want something, but in order to get it, you may have to lose a certain part of your life or a certain person or a certain aspect of your life in order to get this part renewed or get whatever you're trying to get. For some of you, you may have to have a very uncomfortable conversation in order to get to this point. And for some of you, that may not be what you want to do. So it really just depends on what your situation is and what you want. That's going to dictate how things go for you in the middle of March, okay? But just know you will get what you want, but it just may not come in the way that you expected it. But in all regards, it does mean that you will get what you want, so it's okay, all right? Four of Swords. Some of you are putting your thoughts to rest. I think at this point in your March, you finally can kind of chill with your thoughts. You're not necessarily having all of these raging thoughts, excuse me. And you're ready to settle down. A lot of Virgos are at the point where they're ready to settle down. What are they ready to settle down with? So this Tower card, okay? So something crazy happens. Of course, it's unexpected change. And I think it causes you to be like, okay, I know what I want now. Or even if you don't necessarily know what you want, you're like, okay, I know that this is where I need to settle down. Like, this is the point where I finally can take a break from life because life has been just going too fast, too crazy. And at this point, I can settle down. What does this Tower moment involve? Okay, so it may involve a Leo, or it could involve your health, okay? So be very aware of this in the middle of your March. Some of you may have to take a seat back because your health is starting to feel a little wonky. So be very careful. Make sure you're not running yourself, crazy or dry, whatever. But I do feel like it could involve a Leo or maybe a child in your life or your health. What other We also have the Three of Wands here. So with the Three of Wands, you're looking at your future. So this will involve your future and the preparation that goes into that as a Virgo. And I think you're starting to realize what you want could be taken from you in a matter of seconds. Or what you want, depending on your karma, could be given to you in a matter of seconds. It's all about what you have put in motion. What effort have you put in to receive whatever you're trying to get at this point, okay? Now moving to the Death card here. Obviously this could be a Scorpio coming up, but for the most part, this is about a new cycle. So after this Tower moment happens, there's something new that blossoms. Let's go ahead and see in what part of your life, what part of Virgo's life will this blossom, will this new cycle begin? Queen of Wands in reverse. So all of this dramatic feeling that you are having, and some of you may be Leo Virgos, because this is I'm seeing a lot of fire come up here. But if not, it's saying that these dramatic moments that you're having, these moments where you're kind of being like the drama queen, or you're probably spazzing, or feeling out of control, or feeling like you don't have any control in your life, it's going to subside, okay? You're going to have a moment where you really start to find your true leadership as a Virgo and kind of see your strengths when it comes to putting in effort, putting in action as a Virgo. And with this is all caused by a karmic change. This is all by universe's will. This is all part of the plan and the process that you have been going through for however long, depending on, your situation. But it's like all of this is happening because it's time for you to understand the meaning behind it. It's time for you to understand the worth behind all of this. And it's also time for you to start understanding why all of this happened in the first place. And this end of the cycle is going to transition you into something new, okay? What's the new cycle going to be for this Virgo? What is the new cycle going to be for this Virgo? So we got the Pisces card, we got the Hangman, and then we got the Two of Cups. So this is very clear. There's going to be a decision made on what you're going to do about your love life. You're finally going to be able to make way more sense of this. And you're going to figure out what is needed, what you need or what you want or what you should do in order to have a peaceful life. Okay, so even if you are not in a relationship, it's like you're going to finally understand how to deal with this. And if you are in a relationship and you've just been trying to figure out should you stay or should you go, it's like you finally understand what the motive is. And being that this Two of Cups is here, I do think that a lot of you will make the decision that is most peaceful and makes the most sense to have peace within your emotional life. And for a lot of you, it will be, staying with this person and figuring out how to make it work. I do feel like there has been a lot of work put into it. And so that may be why this is able to work out in the first place, okay? So let's go ahead and go to the end of March. End of March for my Virgo. All right, all three cards. Perfect. All right. So the end of March for you, Five of Cups here. So this is really telling of, kind of having like this depressing stage. Kind of being sad, being mopey. Having one of those days where you don't feel like doing anything, you don't feel like getting dressed, you just feel like staying in, and you feel like just sitting down and being, sheltered. And this is because some of you are having issues in your love life. And I know I said that it will be a point where you understand the new cycle of what you want, but at the same time, like I said, some people, depending on your karma and how it's set up, after this Tower moment, after this karmic change, and with the Death card, there's serious movements that's happening. And so for a lot of you, it may just feel uncomfortable because you're not in the same predicament. No matter if you are with the person that you've been with, or if you're with a new person, or if you're single, you're in a new space. And it could feel very uncomfortable. You're out of your comfort zone, okay? And so this is what this Five of Cups and Nine of Cups in reverse is telling me. It's like you're kind of in an uncomfortable position, right? Who are they, or what's uncomfortable about this position? So Four of Cups in reverse. You're uncomfortable with the fact that you're starting to see things for the better, but at the same time, it's like, again, better could mean that you had to leave something behind. Better could mean that you have to live with certain things that you weren't ready to. Better can mean that you are just maturing, and sometimes it can be really hard to move and elevate away from things that you're used to. It's all about this comfort. I really feel like it's more about comfort, okay? How can we make Virgo more comfortable? How can Virgo make themselves more comfortable in the end of March with all of the emotional things that are happening? Sun card in reverse. Realize that what you want, you get it. It's just not in the way that you thought. Keep that in mind. So whatever you're looking for, you're getting it, and it's like you can't be mad once you get it because you got it. It's just in a way that you didn't expect. So expect the unexpected, okay? This is not a bad thing, but for a lot of Virgos, like I said, it will be something that is very uncomfortable. And so it's really up to you to decide. If you know what you want, make sure you know what you want, because the way that it's going to come to you may be in a way that you weren't expecting, and that can be kind of traumatizing in certain situations. So just be very aware of that, and just know that if you are a Leo Virgo, because I'm seeing a lot of Leo-ness here, make sure that you are balancing out those two dynamics with all of what's going on, okay? Now we have the Knight of Cups here. So at this point, once you realize that you have gotten what you wanted and you've come to terms with that, it seems as though you're very optimistic about the future in your love life, okay? And I like to see that. Who is this Virgo with? Who is the Virgo happy with now? We got the Five of Swords. So it could be an air sign or someone who has air placement in their moon sign. Excuse me. And it could also just be that you are okay, you feel comfortable now that you have had that conversation. Now that you are, like, there's not this weird elephant in the room. I think that's what this is trying to say. Now let's go ahead and move to the last and final card for your March. We have the King of Swords upright. Okay, so this could be an Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. But this is a time of calculation. This is a time of logic. This is rounding out that Gemini energy that you have been having in March. And I feel like, if anything, it's causing you to put things into perspective. So let's go ahead and see why this King of Swords is popping up. Okay, so this is popping up, this energy is because you are at a position where you're making a decision and you're prioritizing your life. You're really starting to juggle and put the building blocks down so that you can, move forward on them. With the Knight of Pentacles here, you're putting things away that don't serve you. You're being very discerning about this. You're not trying to make it harder on yourself. I think you're starting to really look at it objectively in a more practical sense, in combination with that with the air like energy that's here. And so with the Three of Cups, you see that some things need to be disconnected from. There's some things in your life that you just need to let go of, just for the sake of things being easier, and just for the sake of you having less clutter in your life. With the Three of Pentacles here, it's like you're doing this for you. You're doing this because you know what works, and you know what works in your little system of your life. You know who you work well with. You know what you need to be around. And I think it's like you're focused on disconnecting from things that don't matter, so that you can keep what does matter to you afloat, and so you can keep it going in a way that's beneficial for you. Seven of Pentacles in reverse. You may have to change up some of your daily routine for this to happen, but I do think that it's worth the fight. Okay, so let's see, who are we disconnecting from, or what are we disconnecting from in the end of March? Okay, so maybe a Pisces. We also have the Moon card, so maybe some things that you've been hiding, you're disconnecting from it at this point. What are we keeping? What are we cooperating with in our Virgo life? We have the Princess of Cups. This is symbolized by autumn. So what you're keeping is actually a Libra. It could be a Scorpio. This is a person who most likely their moon sign is Libra. And so this is a person who you are renewing new feelings that I feel like have been there, but it's like it's kind of like when you renew your vows, or if you had that breakup with the person in your life who you're supposed to be with forever, you guys come back together. It's like a merging of that. It's a very familiar type of energy in many ways. And I feel like this is someone that you are choosing to keep working on because you realize that there's other distractions or there's other extracurricular things that don't need your focus at this time. And so with the end of March, I feel like everything rounds itself out. And I feel like it's kind of like a spring cleaning for you in a lot of ways. It will take work. I don't think it's going to be like super easy, but at the same time, it's kind of like if you don't fight against the tides, you'll be okay. So just keep that in mind. And yeah, Virgo, I think that this is a really, really good reading. I really have a lot of energy that I felt from this reading, and I hope that it resonated with you. You have all my blessings and my love, Virgo. Thank you so much for watching. I am Love from a Leo. If you would like a personal reading with me, you can book one by emailing me at loveFromALeo@gmail.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so that you can be notified when I upload different types of readings. You can also recommend what type of reading that you would like me to do next in the comment section below on any of my videos. I want to see kind of more what you guys are into so I can improve the engagement of these videos. And yeah. If I'm not your favorite Leo, one day I will be. And until next time, Virgo, I will see you very, very soon. Good luck.